Hello. You should all now receive notification about what project you were assigned to and who is your mentor, and if you are a industry working on an industry sponsor project, who your industry sponsor and contact is, and so on. So in this video I will talk about what is the next step for your senior design course and senior design project and what needs to be done. First, this is an overall view of all the projects. We have 27 teams in this class, and each project and contact and the mentors are listed here to just give you a snapshot of the entire course. Going back to the table that we had and is posted on your course syllabus, so we are done with the first step, which is project selection. So now we're going to talk about the next two steps: weekly meeting time and location, and also the IP forms that each team needs to sign. So the next step is to upload your weekly meeting time on Blackboard. That is part of your participation and that 25% of grading that you will receive from me. But also, in general, I want to talk about the weekly meeting. So this is a required part of your project. It is required that you meet with your mentor, faculty mentor, or mentors weekly on a weekly basis. So please reach out to your mentors and talk between yourselves, and then reach out to your mentor and see what time works best for you guys. You can meet whether in person, or some people in person, some people online, or fully online. It is totally up to you and your mentor. There's no certain requirement for the format. Part of your grade that your mentor assigned to you is your weekly performance, and that performance is what you've done during that week, but also your performance during weekly meetings, and how much work you're doing, how much lead you're doing, how much you're taking charge of your responsibility and helping your team, and all of that. Other than that, you should also have your own separate meeting time between you guys, just the team, to meet as much as needed and work through the tasks and responsibilities that you have during the week. The weekly meeting with your mentor is just for a quick update. Ask questions if you are stuck or you need advice or you need direction, and if there is any issue or concern, to do that. Your weekly meeting is not for you to figure out stuff, do calculation, divide work, stuff like that. So that's something that you should do at a separate time. For the project that they have a company sponsored, you are also required to give your contact person at the company to either bi-weekly or monthly updates. Sometimes this could be just done through an email update, or sometimes they require you to have a virtual meeting, or some companies require you to go in and have meeting with them. It's important to check with your company contact and be on the same page that what is their expectation, and you and your mentor know what to do. One thing that I require all of my teams, and I encourage you guys to do, is have a weekly agenda. This is something that we talked about in ME361 when we were talking about project management. So this is a way of having efficient meetings. This sample agenda that I have, which is also available on Blackboard, not exact document, but a sample agenda is available for you guys from Blackboard, that if you want to download, or you can get it from your mentors. This is a sample from one of my groups in ME462, that they have the current issues and current items that are going to talk about. They have an upcoming items and issues, and then they have closed items that we've discussed in previous meetings. So it's a really efficient way of running your meetings. Um, the other thing that I want to talk about is your engineering notebooks. It's a required part of this class. Each member should have their own engineering notebook. And this is something that NDSU bookstore has in stock, or there's a link I provided on course syllabus, and if you guys are interested, you can buy it directly from the seller. So every activity that is relating to the project needs to be recorded in your engineering notebooks, and it will be graded by your mentor or your mentors, and as part of your grade. The overall purpose of keeping an engineering notebook is mainly two main reasons. One is that it can be used to establish a date of discovery. Okay, so if there is any intellectual property or any intellectual property discussion or opportunity later, and if there is a dispute or argument over it, your notebook could be used as a legal document to show the date of discovery. Also, the work that you have documented in your logbooks and engineering notebook can be useful in providing due diligence and the application of good engineering practice in the design process, especially if a liability lawsuit happens later. But also, it can provide some foundation, base work, and documentation for future teams and future senior design teams that might work on a similar project or exact same project, expansion or second phase of the project. So talking about what goes into your logbook or engineering notebooks and what needs to be content. In short, everything that relates to your project, every activity that you do individually or in group that is related to your project needs to go in your logbook. There's a lot of text on this slide, but I have a document posted on Blackboard that I'm going to talk about it in a minute, and that has all of these information. So these information for you guys to read through it and review it periodically if you forget what goes into your notebook and what doesn't. So again, this list is the minimum that needs to go in your logbook. So examples such as project definition that you define, as well as the engineering and design constraint that you talk about with your mentor and with your sponsor, and you come up with a list or bullet points, stuff like that. Any design ideas, we're going to talk about conceptual design. Any design concepts that you develop, any decision matrices that you make, anything like that goes in your notebook. Every contact that you have with your sponsor or with your mentor can go in your notebook. You can print out, if you have an email which has a long list of design constraints or answer a bunch of questions, you can just print that email and permanently glue it to one of the pages of your notebook. You should not cover the page number in your engineering notebook, and you need to date and sign that page as well. Same with any design work that you do, either hand calculations or computer modeling or computer analysis that you do. Everything should be recorded in your notebook. If you have an ANSYS analysis, you can take a screenshot, print, and again permanently glue it to a page, date and sign, stuff like that. All of the group meetings and what happens in it should be recorded with details. I've seen quite often that the students just write bullet points of what is happening. That is not enough. Every discussion needs to have enough details. One thing is, especially when it comes to hand calculations and stuff like that, you shouldn't think that, well, is this correct or is this incorrect? it doesn't matter. Everything that you are doing, it should be recorded. If later on you figure out that was wrong, so be it. The issue is that you cannot base whether to enter something into your notebook, whether it's correct or incorrect. Also, I've seen people taking notes or when they're drawing freehand, stuff like that, to later on enter it in their design notebooks. Do not do that. If you're drawing freehand, just draw it in your notebook right away. If you are in a meeting and taking notes, take notes right away in your design notebook. If you're purchasing stuff which is going to be in the spring semester, you can either keep track of what you're purchasing and how much was it and where you found it, or I've seen some people print out the pre-order form, which we're going to talk about, and they again permanently glue it to your notebook, date and sign. And some other points for you guys that your mentors will look at when grading your notebooks. Again, this could be used as a legal document. Everything should be recorded and nothing should be changed or altered in any manner. So because of that, we always use pen or markers, stuff like that. Never use a pencil. If you want to make a correction, do not erase, do not wipe out, or do not blank out anything. If you want to make a correction, just put a fine line like this through it, so it's still legible and still you can refer to it, but that shows that this was corrected. Every entry needs to have date, time, let me add this, location, plus people present. If you're the only one present, you're midnight, you're sitting in your apartment, you have an idea, you want to record in your notebook, you can write your own name, or you can write self, or you can just write myself. But again, it helps to have who was present where. As we mentioned, every entry needs to be signed by the author. Your mentor, however, can sign whenever they want or not at all. That's fine. They don't have to sign your notebook. Some mentors sign when they grade your notebook. I sign it when I grade it. I usually grade it every month. So throughout the semester, I will grade 4 times design notebooks. Every time at the bottom of the last page, I sign and date, so I know I've graded that notebook. So again, we talked about page numbers. You cannot remove or add any pages. It is okay to print out an email, design analysis of a CAD drawing, and glue it to an existing page if you do not cover the page number and date and sign. But you cannot add any page or you cannot remove any page from your design notebook. Do not leave any blank pages. And we're going to show this as an example. If you're using half a page and you want to start a new page, you have to put lines through your page, something like that, to show that shows that you are leaving that blank intentionally and moving on. So if you check Blackboard under course content, I have logbook information, which has all the bullet points and materials that I just covered in previous slides. It has some examples that I'll show you, and it has the grading scheme that your mentors are going to use, which again I will show you. So these are some examples of pages from design notebooks. I have some more examples that I will upload to Blackboard so you can see different forms and different ways of keeping track. But again, it is your design notebooks. You got to keep track of whatever you want, however you want, as long as the content is what it's supposed to be. If you doubt about the way you're doing and keep track of stuff, after a couple of pages, you can show it to your mentor and ask their feedback and says, hey, is this what I should be doing, or do I need to do something differently? So see, like this student wanted to use half a page, so they put lines through it that it shows that, hey, nothing can be added to it later. he or she made some corrections here. As you can see, you can still totally read it. They just put a fine line through it. Here's another page, I believe from the same person, and as you can see, everything is recorded. Again, it doesn't have to be nice and neat. You can record however you want, but these are good examples to show. If you check Blackboard, there's also a grading scheme that your mentors are going to use. So every time they grade your notebooks, it's out of 100 points. The first two are really simple points that you can earn. So if you just use ink and everything is legible and you put fine line through corrections, you get your 25 points. The second 25 points is for date, time, locations, and sign on the bottom of the page. Sign was from the first point. So the first 50 points, if you just follow these directions, easy points. The other 50 points goes back to the details of how well you keep details and you record everything. Again, do not be shy of recording every detail. Be as descriptive as you can. Include all the details, all the calculations, even a simple calculation when you're doing stress F over A. Put a flash and explain what each of them is. Don't just assume that whoever is reading your notebook knows knows the details. So try to put as much as detail as you can on your notebook and stuff like that. So these are all provided and available on Blackboard for you to review and go through them. So talking about the second deliverable that is due on October 2nd, which is your IP forms. So I have sent each of you guys with the forms that you need to sign, but this is just an overview to give you what forms is for which project. If you've talked about intellectual property and different kinds of intellectual property in ME361, now you're seeing it in action, especially for non-disclosure agreements. So if your project is one of the ME department sponsored project, so it's either proposed by a faculty or it could be a student challenge. So in the case of a student challenges, most of them, you only need to sign the memorandum of understanding. However, some of them, NDSU might still own the IP for that project. The faculty proposed project, which are not student challenges, almost all of them NDSU will own the IP, and that's why you sign the assignment to NDSU form. So for the company sponsored project, 99% of the time we are looking at company owning the IP. In rare cases that students own the IP, then you just need to sign the memorandum of understanding, again same as student challenges. But if company owns the IP, then you have to fill out a non-disclosure agreement and sign assignment to sponsor. So that needs two forms, which again is 99% of the company sponsored project. There are, however, 2 more documents that you guys do not need to worry about. I will take care of that one. I'll call and coordinate with the sponsor and get the document and contract signed. So I have included step by step for signing each form. They are very straightforward, but if you are confused and don't know, you can always reach out to me. But also you can go through these steps and figure out what to do. So when you're dealing with assignment to sponsor or assignment to NDSU form, meaning you give the IP to the sponsor or you give the IP to NDSU. So you fill out your name, title, the course title, title of your project, and name of your sponsor. Okay, so this should be the full legal name of the company. So you better ask your sponsor what is the legal and full name of the company that you want to put on your form. So we usually ask you to sign the form in front of your faculty. However, this semester is a little bit different. If you're signing it through a virtual meeting, that's totally fine. Just communicate and coordinate with your mentor. The form has a date of 2014. These forms come from NDSU Legal Department as a PDF, and I don't have any access to any of the form to change them, so just put a line through it and change that one to 2020. The last, your faculty will sign, and you can all send that to me, which we're going to talk about that. For memorandum of understanding, again, very straightforward. You got to fill out your information. Again, we ask to sign in front of your faculty mentor, but because this semester is unique, it's okay if you sign it and you send them to your faculty for signature. For both of these forms, page 3, do not fill it, do not sign it, do not even include it. That's for if there's a minor signing the form, which for senior design, we don't have a minor in our course. The one that you need to pay attention a little bit more is signing the NDA form, non-disclosure agreement. This form, again, is a legal document provided by NDSU Legal Department. We cannot change anything in the form. We should accept it as is. So in page 1, if you look on the form, there is item 1. So you got to write the name and address of the company. Again, this should be the full legal name of the company. There's an item 2. So you write my name as the course instructor, as NDSU course instructor. NDSU project director is your faculty mentor. If you have more than one faculty mentor in your project, just name of one of them is enough, not both of them. Just one of them writes the name. Title is usually assistant or associate or full professor, and their email address. So item 3 on page 1 is name of your project. Again, use your full name, or you can use the name that was provided and shown to you in this video. Page 3, if you look at them, item 11, you got to ask your company who will sign the NDA form. Some companies, your direct contact will sign it. Some bigger companies, it might go up to VP of research, engineering, could be anybody that has authority for signature. So authorized to sign this document. So this is something you got to ask and fill. Once you do that, all of the student members need to sign with all the information, write their information and sign. After that, you do your faculty mentor, whoever you put their name here. Okay, it doesn't matter. If you have more than one faculty, put one down. That faculty needs to sign the form. Once you're done, you can send it to your sponsor. So it goes student, faculty mentor, then your sponsor, whoever you put their name here. And when everything is done, then you just upload it to Blackboard, which we're going to talk about it. So I am the last one to sign, and also NDSU Legal is the last to sign. So we are the last to sign. You guys can get together, sign in person, and then a scan, send it to faculty, or you and faculty can all sign and then a scan, send it to a sponsor, whichever you want to do. I collect only soft copies, PDF of a scan. So what I want you to do is all of the pages of all of the members for all of the forms need to be scanned as one PDF document. Okay, one PDF document per team. And there are 2 links already available to you under assignments on Blackboard, and the one for signed IP forms. Any member can submit. 1 member per team is enough, but all I need is 1 PDF file that has all the files and all of the signatures. Okay. The second link that you saw, well, I should say the first link. The first link that you saw is for your weekly meeting time and location. So these 2 are coming up as your 2 deliverables for this class. The first one is due September 18th. The second one is due October 2nd, both at 5 p.m. on Blackboard. In the next video, I will talk about project planning and risk plan that you will be developing for this course. Thank you.